Before I start, I want to say that this build is not for everyone. However, if you enjoy settlement building, buying and selling, and becoming ridiculously strong to the point of making the entire game trivial, this might be for you. So get ready to marvel at this mesmerizing masterpiece magnifying money's might through meticulous maximization of materials. The starting special stats for this character are 4 strength, 1 perception, 1 endurance, 6 charisma, 10 intelligence, 1 agility, and 5 luck. The intelligence is intended to ensure that our experience enhancement is expedited. The 5 luck opens up the Idiot Savant perk, which will trigger from time to time, bringing even more experience in. The 6 charisma opens up local leader, which is necessary for creating supply lines between settlements, and it will also improve our buying and selling rates. Finally, 4 strength is to help us carry more junk, and we will eventually add 2 more points to unlock strong back to further help with carrying junk. Right out of the vault, head over to Sanctuary, do Codsworth's initial quest, and then get to scrapping. You'll be scrapping pretty much everything except for the weapon armor, power armor, chemistry, and cooking workstations. You're also looking out for charisma and intelligence apparel. The intelligence gear you want is a Vault Tech lab coat, which gives +2 to intelligence. If you're lucky, you may have found one in Vault 111, but if not, don't worry about it. You're also looking for an Ushanka hat, which gives another +1 to intelligence, and you'll wear these whenever you're crafting to give a nice boost to experience gains. Additionally, you should be trying to piece together a set of charisma gear. There are lots of clothing items that give +2 to charisma, suits, dresses, and many others. I have personally never had an issue with finding a +2 charisma suit in Sanctuary. Additionally, be on the lookout for black rim or fashionable glasses, which will give another +1 to charisma. There are some hats that give +1 to charisma and also pompadour wigs. It is extremely unlikely that you'll find everything while scrapping Sanctuary, but you'll be able to slowly collect the rest, so don't worry if you're short of the goal. There are also temporary boosts to charisma. First, any beer gives you a +1 to charisma for a short period of time, so if you have one handy, drink it before selling. Finally, there is the insanely strong Great Mentats, which give +5 to charisma and give 10% improved buying and selling prices. These are crafted at a chemistry station with 2 hub flour, which you'll find a lot of as you wander around, 1 whiskey, and 1 mentats. It's unlikely you'll have all the materials handy, but if you see opportunities to buy mentats and whiskey, then you'll be able to craft these, and they'll give you a nice boon to your profit margins. They're not necessary, but they're just very helpful whenever you can craft them. At this point, start building necessities for settlers. When you get your first level up, put the point in Idiot Savant. The earlier you take this perk, the better. Keep building stuff your settlers will need until you get another level. This point should be put in Science. Science rank 1 opens up the industrial water purifiers, which will be the key to our capitalist approach. You should be able to build 2 to 3 industrial water purifiers. Each of these produce 40 purified waters for your settlement. You'll also need to power these. The most resource and space efficient source of power for you at this point is the smallest power generator, so use those and wire everything up. Purified waters will be our main source of income. You'll eventually produce so much purified water that you'll be able to buy out the entire inventory of vendors. However, it will take a bit to get rolling. The way water purifiers work is they will produce water for your settlers. Anything your settlers don't need will be moved to your workbench in the Aid tab. Water will be moved to your Aid tab after 24 hours of in-game time pass, so you sleep or do stuff for 24 hours. But you'll also have to wait for a real-world cooldown, which is around 10 to 15 minutes. It's a bit inconsistent, though. This means you won't simply be able to sleep and collect purified water over and over. You'll need to actually do stuff in between. Additionally, if it's time for your water to be stored in your workbench, but you already have stuff in your Aid tab, it will no longer add water. So you'll need to keep the Aid tab of your workbench completely empty to ensure you don't miss out on those purified water money bombs. Another source of income only works if you have the Far Harbor DLC. If you have the DLC, you can put a point into Chemist and unlock the Poison Caltrops craft at your chemistry station. This craft only requires 5 steel and also sells quite well. Try not to use all of your steel on this, as you'll likely need steel for building up your settlements. Prioritize building the things that you want to make Sanctuary look better and also provide the needs of your future settlers. You'll likely have a ton of extra wood and nothing to do with it, so I use a method that I call shelving. I stand near a wall and craft these wooden shelves. They don't have any collision with each other, so you can stack the shelves on top of each other. Be sure the wall you're using isn't one that you built yourself, or else you won't be able to scrap the shelves you build at the end. Every shelf you build costs 2 wood. Every time you scrap a shelf, you get 1 wood back. This means that when you craft a bunch of shelves and then scrap them, you'll be able to craft half as many and then scrap those and continue the process until you don't have any wood left. Shelving is a very efficient way to gain levels while we're waiting for the next purified water drop. At this point, we'll need to leave Sanctuary for a bit. We can produce water, but we don't have anyone to trade with. So grab some purified water or poison caltrops and head out to Red Rocket, activate the workbench, and pick up dog meat. This will be your second settlement. Head southwest to Red Rocket to find Abernathy Farms. For now, this won't become a settlement because there's a quest we need to do, which we won't do right now. But there's a vendor here, and she doesn't sell a lot of good stuff, but you can use this vendor from time to time. If you're just waiting for the purified water to drop, you can go over there and sell some stuff and get her caps as well. Additionally, the first time you're here, grab all these potatoes because you'll plant those as the initial food source for your settlers in Sanctuary and Red Rocket. From there, head east and slightly south to find Trash Can Carla. Chatting with her will start her on her trade route, which will have her stopping in Sanctuary once every 3 days. All of the vendors reset their inventory after 48 hours, so the time she comes to Sanctuary, she will always have a fresh inventory. On this initial encounter with her, check the apparel and see if she's selling any of the missing charisma or intelligence gear that you need. And then check her junk tab for cameras or anything else with crystals. We'll need 4 crystals to craft settlement recruitment beacons, and they aren't found while scrapping Sanctuary. Head back to Sanctuary and build a settlement recruitment beacon and power it up. This will recruit settlers for Sanctuary. Within a short time, you should have 2 new settlers. Now take the first rank of local leader and have one of the settlers become a provisioner by establishing a supply line between Sanctuary and Red Rocket. A provisioner will allow you to share building supplies and food and water between your settlements, and it will just make the whole process a lot easier. Now head to Red Rocket and build another settlement recruitment beacon and power it. Once you have a level to spare, take the first rank of Cap Collector to improve your buying and selling prices. Now everything is set up and we don't need to leave Sanctuary for quite some time. Here's how our workflow will go. Purified water will come in, sleep until Trash Can Carla arrives, wear your charisma set and use your charisma consumables and buy as much of her junk as you can with the purified water while still getting her entire inventory of caps. It's likely that you won't be able to buy the shipments for a while, so just buy the loose junk. Remember, we're also looking out for apparel to complete our charisma and intelligence sets, along with beer, whiskey, and mentats for more charisma consumables. Sleep for 24 hours and switch to your intelligence set and build as many industrial water purifiers as you can, and also build power generators for them. Continue to develop your settlements, increasing all the needs of your settlers so that the happiness goes up. The happiness goes up means more settlers will come faster. If you have extra time and nothing to do with it, do shelving and craft poison caltrops with the unneeded wood and steel. Head over to Abernathy Farm and sell your caltrops for whatever caps they have. By then, it should be pretty close to your next water purifier drop, so repeat this process. There are some key points along the way. Eventually, you should get to the point where you can afford these shipments of wood along with the rest of her non-shipment junk. Once you get shipments of wood, your shelving experience gains will be much higher. This should allow you to reach level 20 quite comfortably. Once you hit level 20, take the second rank of Cap Collector. This will not only improve your buying and selling prices, but you'll also be able to build the highest rank of stores in your settlement. Hopefully during this time of buying and selling, you got at least 2,000 caps. Use these caps to build a level 3 trader store and assign one of your settlers to it. You will now have a second source of junk and caps. This will increase the speed you can build water purifiers and generators to increase your water purifier gains even more. Eventually, you should have over 999 purified water produced by Sanctuary. Your next goal will be to build the other level 3 vendors. The order I like to do them in is the aid vendor, which requires 1 point in medic, then weapons, then armor, then food, and finally clothing. These should take less and less time because each store you build will give you access to more caps. If you want to take this step even further, I have a guide for recruiting the level 4 merchants, who are essentially NPCs that have special expanded inventories when you recruit them and assign them to a level 3 store. They have specific requirements and locations, and they're extremely buggy, so I would recommend watching that guide to ensure you do that correctly. This is completely excessive, but since you've already gone through this much insanity, you might as well take it to the next level. From here, the wasteland is yours. You can pretty much take your character anywhere you like, and you haven't even started doing the story yet. The weapons and armor vendors will sell insanely powerful gear for you to get started on your journey. You have an infinite source of income to buy anything you'll ever need, and you can continue expanding your empire of connected settlements by working with the Minutemen. If you need some more levels, you can always come back and do more shelving. You can take this build pretty much in any direction or playstyle that you want and still be extremely effective. My recommendation for the continuation that makes the most sense is to complete the Pyromaniac quest, which is part of the new Creation Club update. It's pretty silly, but it literally gives you the best power armor in the game, and it takes about 10 minutes total. Investments in armor and science will allow you to fully upgrade this set and even add a jetpack. You'll have infinite access to fusion cores through your weapon vendor, meaning you don't even need to take the nuclear physicist perk to extend the duration of the fusion cores. I usually do anyway, it just makes things a little bit more comfortable. Use whichever weapons you're comfortable with until you get the 4th rank of science at level 41. If you have the Contraptions Workshop DLC, you'll be able to build an energy weapon forge and use it to craft a Gatling laser, which also uses fusion cores. With your 4 ranks of science, and if you have 2 ranks in gun nut, you'll be able to craft the overcharge capacitor and the beam focuser, and now your Gatling laser will basically melt anything that it touches. I would also recommend investing your extra levels in endurance and agility, which will allow you to sprint much longer distances, and endurance will give you a nice added bonus to your survivability. And congratulations, you're now nearly invincible and you're ready to decimate any and all content in the game. To me, this is the most OP min-maxing way to start any character, and it's pretty much my go-to route if I want to make everything silly and trivial. I've done this several times, and I feel like I've created a very optimal method for setting this whole thing up. So I hope you enjoyed this, and remember, to survive in the wasteland, you gotta be efficient.